What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another little quick review for you. Another one of the Eddie knives, courtesy of Mr. Eddie _411 on Instagram. Is linked down in the description. If you want to go check him out, it's thanks to people like him. I get to check out really cool knives like this. This one here is the Hoback knife, Jake Hoback OneSam. Pretty neat little knife. We're going to talk all about it. Jake Hoback does some of his models in collaboration with Chinese OEMs. This one, in fact, the OneSam, is a collaboration with We Knives, made by We Knives in China. This is the OneSam, the little camping, I guess they call it camping kind of logo on there. It's a OneSam camping stonewash. So this is an etching in the titanium handle, kind of like a little tint. You can see it. That'd probably help if I put it closer up, right? But I thought that was pretty neat. Pretty cool little pattern on the knife. So we'll go get into specs and all that good stuff. Go ahead and get that out the way. The tape measure out here. So pulling a measurement on it, you got from the tip of the blade all the way to the butt of the handle, looking right at 7 3/8. Maybe a hair over 7 3/8, not quite 7 1/2. Blade length, you're looking at 3. Go from the tip there, you're looking at 3 3/8 if you want to do full blade length. Yeah, full blade length would be 3 3/8. And cutting edge, you're looking right at 3 1/4 on that. Get the calipers out here. Make sure they're zeroed. Alright, so thickest part of the spine. This is kind of a pretty neat little compound grind on here. So let me make sure I'm getting the thickest part. Around 125 thousandths. And measuring behind the edge. As accurate as I can get. Looking right at 23 thousandths right there. So it comes down to a pretty good edge. Not a super slicer by any means, you know, but I mean also not super thick, I wouldn't say. So kind of right in between. I'll go ahead and get a handle thickness. 477 thousandths on the handle thickness. Pretty good ratios, I'd say, for handle to you know, the blade size and everything. Pretty comfortable. Very ergonomic handle. Get into that here in just a second. We'll go ahead and do size comparisons. Got the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. All right. And let's see, Para 3. Where's it at? Spyderco Para 3. There we go. Sorry, I had to make a little cut and wipe off some stuff off of the camera real quick. Tried to make that as smooth as possible. But that's your size comparison between the two. Definitely smaller than the PM2. But almost as much. Well, actually, maybe a little more cutting edge there, you know, because the PM2's got this flat right there that kind of messes it up as far as you know, the edge. So, or as far as available cutting edge, I guess I should say. And you got the Ritter Hogue RSK MK1 and G10, and you got the Hogue Deca right there. So more along the lines of the size of the Hogue Deca. Actually, pretty close all together. If I can talk right today, to the Hogue Deca. All right, and we'll do one more old reliable Ontario Rat Knives Model 1, and we'll do Rat Model 2. So let's see right there. Actually closer to the Rat 2, but a good bit more cutting edge. We'll go ahead and get the scale out here. I'm gonna wait on this bad boy. Alright, we'll double check that. Got 2.8 on the Rat 2. .9. So 3.9 ounces, a little over the ounce and inch ratio that a lot of people, go by, but I mean, not too far over. Definitely not a cumbersome object by any means. You know, not super duper heavy in my book. Anyway, go ahead and get the old blue jeans out here. All right, so carry profile, kind of a stiff clip, but it goes in fairly well once you get used to it. Definitely not deep carry, you know, so I mean, you got that much sticking out right there. Pretty good little amount sticking out of the pocket. Let me go ahead and do this. So you got just over an inch, you know, or right at an inch, really, sticking out of a pocket. So, I mean, that might be an issue for some people, but the way that this wedges down to a smaller size, it kind of makes it easy to pull out like that and grab it, you know. So that is one thing to keep in mind. If you want a deep carry clip, then, you know, this is not your guy. So, anyway, got all that done. Let's see, what else we got to do with specs? We got to get the hardware check. This is the T6. I'm not sure. I haven't actually not done a hardware check. I usually do them before just to make sure. All right, so this has got an over travel stop pin in it. Lock bar stabilizer. Stainless steel. You can actually tighten that down with a T6. All right. Yeah. So that needs to be a little bit looser. You can see what that does. That's like a little set screw that goes through the lock bar. All right. And kind of controls the detent the way it looks. I've never seen anything like that before. So, I mean, I'm used to like an over travel stop, you know, the little set screw in the lock bar, but that's a little different. So maybe that would help, maybe with the action. I don't know. Pretty neat though. Kind of hard to reverse flick it, but you can push up, you know, if you grab it towards the end right there and reverse flick it. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So that one's a T6, and the larger one I'm almost sure is a T8. I'll double check that though, because I have been known to be wrong a lot. Yeah, that's a T8. T8 on that too as well, on the pivot. T8 on that body screw. And pocket clip screws. And that body screw. Yeah, everything's T8. Awesome. Good deal. T8, all T8, minus that little set screw that's in the lock bar that I'm not 100% sure what it does. Anybody down in the comments, I'm sure, you know, definitely leave me a comment and let me know, because that's very handy. But yeah, that one's a T8, that's a T6. Everything else on the knife, T8. Captive pivot, that's a good thing. It's a lot easier to take apart, put it back together. And I think that's about it as far as specs goes. Let me get the T6 bit right back over there. So as far as action, the action on this thing is kind of sluggish, I find. I flipped it, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred times. It's brand new getting it, you know, kind of right out the box. It feels kind of grindy whenever you're opening it up, you know. If you listen to it, you can actually hear that shh whenever it's on its way to opening. I don't know if I'm describing that good enough or not, but yeah, it's kind of sluggish. I mean, you can definitely fail it, especially if you use the front flipper, you know. Now, if you give it a good solid, you know, front flip, it won't fail. You don't have to use any wrists, you know, but you gotta give it a good solid front flip to flip open. And I have flipped this thing, you know, quite enough for it should be broken in kind of by now, but front flipper works good, you know, no issues there. I'm not a front flipper person, but I can flip that one pretty good. It sticks up enough. There's no issue. I haven't had any issues with getting my finger caught right there or anything, you know, hasn't wanted to do that, so that's a good thing. As we saw earlier, frame lock, pretty good locking system. It's got titanium on the handles and and 20 CV on the blade there, right? So this is a pretty unique grind. I'd say it's a compound grind, right? As it swedges down there, plateaus here, swedges down. Pretty symmetrical. Nice little neat grind, I think, on it. Really good sharpening choil. That's not really, I mean, you can kind of maybe get your finger up there, but not really a finger choil. It's more of a sharpening choil. This is pretty much where it's at, or you can get up on it a little bit on that hump, you know, do like kind of closer in work. No really big choke up spot there. Choke back's fine though for me. I got regular size hands. I wear a large glove. Choke back seems to work pretty good. I still got a little bit of room there left, you know, for my pinky. Pretty comfortable. Could use a little jimping here, but nothing, you know, sharp or pointy there, so that's a good thing. It feels pretty good. It feels pretty well rounded, you know. Inside, kind of right in here, feels a little rigid, you know, like maybe they could have contoured the inside a little bit more, but I mean, it's, you know, you can see it's curved right there, curved right there. They did kind of bevel it, you know, and everything, so I mean, that's a good thing. And they do have a little bit of jimping on that front flipper too, so that helps. Pretty neat little knife, you know. I'd say it's got it's got also a DLC coat on it, so, you know, stonewash, blackwash, whatever, DLC coat. So DLC is hardened to super high hardness, and it resists scratching a lot. A lot of times if you use a knife that's DLC coated, you know, not Cerakote, not PVD, but DLC, and you do see like some scratching on it, a lot of times that's actually the debris of whatever it scratched, you know, kind of rubbing off. Because now I'm not saying it won't scratch at all. That's not true, but I mean, it is very hard to scratch it. You know, helps a little bit with corrosion resistance and stuff, and it's 20 CV already, so it's not going to be like a corrosive issue. For me, opening this thing, I'd say, because the front flipper the flipper tab really doesn't do it for me on this one, and I'm not a front flipper type of person. Even though it is possible, you know, to do it very much, it's actually not bad for a front flipper. I'd still prefer the middle finger flick, and you can kind of, if you grab it right, get kind of used to it. Push up and out right there towards here, or a little lower, and you can front flip it pretty good. It cuts good, or middle finger flick it pretty good. Sorry. Ergonomics when you jerk back like that are just fine. You know, it kind of feels like you're about to slip off because your pinky's almost at the end. Well, mine is anyway. You know, your mileage may vary with your hands, but yeah, that's not too bad. Let's talk about the price. This is $425 for this one. Now, Hoback is an American company out of Idaho, I believe. And this one was done in collaboration with We Knives. So this is not an American-made knife. It's a collaboration with We Knives. This particular one with the Camping engraved and the titanium handle, that is $445 for this one. Now, for a We knife, you know, I mean, it's an American-made company in collaboration with We Knives. Everything's assembled, QC'd, all that over here. You know, quality checked, everything over here. I would say that's too high of a price for me. Now, I would, you know, I'm not Metal Complex. I'm not a knife expert. I don't handle thousands of, you know, ridiculously nice knives every day or anything like that. But from what I've seen and what I know lately at this point in time, I would definitely say that that this thing could be priced, you know, a good bit lower. It's not all American made. You know, for $425, you can get a Hinder, all American made, you know, top of the line production quality on a lot of knives, you know, in the ballpark of $445. I mean, you're getting up there where you're talking about, you know, competing against Hinder, Chris Reeves, even, you know, fairly close to like Medford or something like that territory, you know. So, and also We Knives, you know, I mean, this is made by We, but it's Jake Hoback. But I mean, you look at a lot of We knives now, and they're pretty, you know, pretty similar in price for what seems to be a lot better quality anyway. Not a bad knife at all by any means. I wouldn't say that. You know, I would not call this a bad knife, but just for the price, $445, you know, I mean, it kind of seems like it would be a little bit better, you know. Better action, you know, that's one thing. More thought in the clip, maybe. I do like the fact that it's got a back spacer. You know, that's really nice. I do like the fact, I like the pattern on here. I like the contouring, you know, that they could have done a little better on the inside, I think. I love this grind on the blade. That's probably my favorite thing about the whole knife. And I love the fact that it's DLC coated. As far as hardware goes, it's awesome that it's all T8 captive pivot. That's a plus. But I do think that, you know, it could have been kind of executed a little bit better. And the action mainly is the thing. Maybe if you put skips in here, it would change it a lot. I'm not sure. But it kind of just feels, you know, and this is a little bit nitpicky, but also, I mean, you're paying $445 for this thing. So, you know, you got the right to be nitpicky. It feels kind of grindy, you know, and there. I can definitely show you some other knives within the price range that are super smooth, you know. So anyway, that's something to think about. I'll link it down below. I think it's available on NC Blades at the time of me making this video. Anyway, I always try to link stuff that, you know, is available to help y'all out if you want to check it out, or you know, just price it out, look at the specs, whatever. I'm not affiliated with anything right now. I don't have any affiliate links right now, so it doesn't, you know, doesn't make a difference or help me out at all. But it is something I kind of try to do to, you know, just to help out people that watch the channel. You know, it makes it a lot easier if you're looking for this thing instead of trying to find it somewhere, just to look at the description and kind of get it off of there. Oh, it's got, and this is another thing about it I forgot to mention. It's got this lanyard hole at the end. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I like that they kind of moved it out of the way of everything, because I'm not, you know, personally a big lanyard person. And the clip is mounted for left-hand carry, so that's good. So not a bad knife at all. You know, pretty good knife, I'd say. But for the price, I mean, that's, you know, to me is kind of crazy. You know, $445, especially for something that's, it's not an all USA made knife. You know, it is assembled and QC checked and all that stuff, and shipped out of Jake Hoback, you know, up in Idaho. But it is made by We Knives. So anyway, pretty much it. That's all I got on it. Pretty good knife, and appreciate everyone watching. Appreciate Mr. Eddie, you know, for letting me borrow really nice knives like this to review and kind of take a look at. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe already. I would really appreciate it. It helps the channel out a lot. And hit the like button also, that helps. But until the next time, I hope you have a good evening, morning, night, day, whenever, you know, you're watching this. And I'll see you guys on the next one.